Good morning to all of you. Today we'll start the unit number 3 under the paper number 14, that is the bioinformatics, biostatistics and economic botany. In unit number 3 there are 4 subpoints. First, that is the 3.1 origin of cultivated plants, concept of centers of origin, their importance with reference to Vavilo's work. First of all, we will see the concept of center of origin. First of all, we will see the primary and secondary centers of origin. For the utilization of plants, they are to be cultivated in the form of crop plants. The distribution of such cultivated plants throughout the world is not uniform. In some regions in the world, they show a relatively greater diversity in their forms, varieties and species than in other regions. According to the theory proposed by a Russian botanist, uh, that is the Vavilos, the cultivated plants evolved from the wild species in the areas showing the greater diversity in their forms, varieties, and species. He considered such areas as the primary centers of origin of crop plants. The crop plant then moved from such a primary centers to the other areas due to activities of the human beings. The new areas exhibits relatively less diversity than the primary centers of origin. But in some of such new regions, some crop plants exhibits a considerable diversity of forms, although they did not originate there. Such new areas with a considerable diversity were termed as a secondary centers of origin of cultivated plants by Vavilos. As the nature of primary and secondary centers of origin of cultivated plants depends on the diversity of forms, later on these centers were considered as a primary and secondary centers of diversity. The study of the origin of cultivated plants began with the work of De Candolle in 1883, and his conclusions are still largely accepted by many botanists. Later on in 1926, Nikolai Vavilos, a Russian botanist, published his work on a center of origin of cultivated plants. According to Vavilos, the center of origin of an economic plant species is likely to be near the areas in which the largest number of the varieties of that species grow. It means the center of origin is also center of diversity. That Vavilos in 1926 to 1951 initially suggested 8 primary centers of origin of crop plants, which were considered by him as a primary centers of diversity. Later on, in these 8 centers proposed by Vavilos, India is one of center which was named by him as a Hindustan center of origin of cultivated plants. Later on, in 1935, Vavilos divided the Hindustan center into 2 centers, that is the Indo-Burma center and Malaya Java center of origin. He also divided the another centers from initial 8 centers, namely South American center, into 3 centers, that is the Peru, Chile and Brazil, Paraguay, the center of origin. Thus, the initial 8 centers of origin of cultivated plants initially proposed were converted into a group of 11 centers of origin by Vavilos. In 11 centers proposed by these Vavilos, some additional and alterations were proposed by this Zhukovsky in 1965, and he suggested 12 mega centers of diversity of cultivated plants. First of all, we'll see the first center, that is the Chinese-Japanese region. Initially, it is named as the China Center of Origin. It is the largest and oldest center of origin of cultivated plants. The center consists of mountainous regions of central and western China and neighboring areas. Some of the important crops originated in these areas are the Glycine max, Raphana sativus, Papaver somniferum, Brassica species, Allium. This is considered as a secondary center of origin for some important crops like Zea mays, Phaseolus vulgaris, Sesamum indicum, Brassica napa, and Vigna species. After completion of first center, second center is the Hindustan region, initial name that is the Hindustan center of origin. The region includes Burma, Malaya, Java, Borneo, Sumatra, Philippines, Assam. It is primarily center of origin for Caesar Aritinum, Oriza sativa, Kajanus kajan, Carissa carandas, Phoenix sylvestris, and many other crop plants. Later on in 1935, Vavilo divided this center into two separate regions, Indo-Burma region, that is the India and Hindustan region, and Siamese Java Malaya, that is the Indo-Malayan. After completion of second center, the third center, that is the Central Asian region, initially it is named as Central Asian Center of Origin. While you observe the map, in that map, the number 3 is the Central Asian region. The region includes the northwest region of India, that is the Punjab, Kashmir, northwest frontier, or entire Afghanistan, Soviet Republic of Tajikistan, Tayan, Shan. The important crop plants originated in this region are the Triticum aestivum, Isam sativum, Allium cepa, Vicia, Vitis vinifera, etc. It is the secondary center of origin for cereals like rice. After completion of third center, the another center, that is the fourth center near eastern region, the initial name, that is the Asia Minor Center of Origin. While you observe the map, on that world map, the fourth figure, that is the indicates the near eastern region. This region includes Asia Minor, Transcaucasia, Iran, Turkmenistan. The important crop plants originated in this region are the Ficus carica, Punica granatum, Avena sativa, Brassica oleracea, Medicago sativa, and many other crop plants. It is considered as a secondary center of origin of Brassica campestris, Brassica nigra, Brassica napa, and Prunus americana. After completion of fourth center, another fifth center, that is the Mediterranean region. Initially it is named as Mediterranean Center of Origin. While you observe the map, in a map, the fifth number, it indicates that is the Mediterranean region of center. It includes the northernmost part of the Africa and region of Eastern Asia close to the Asia Minor. This region is important because the many cereals and leguminous originated in this region. It is the primary center of origin for the different species of triticum, several species of avena, hordeum, several species of legumes like lathyrus, pisum, vicia, trifolium, and many other important crop plants. After completion of fifth, the sixth center of origin, that is the Abyssinian region, initially Abyssinian center of origin. While you observe the map, in the map, the figure number 6, that is the Ethiopia, is the sixth center of origin. This region includes the Ethiopia, Eritrea. The region is a primary center of origin for Hordeum vulgare, Sorghum bicolor, and many species of Triticum, Coffea arabica, Ricinus caminus, and many other crop plants. The region is the secondary center of origin for Vicia faba. After completion of sixth center, the another seventh center, that is the South Mexican and Central American region. Initially, it is known as Central American region of origin. While you observe the map, seventh figure, it indicates that is the seventh center of origin. That is the Mesoamerica is the name of that center. The important plants originate in this region are the Zea mays, Phaseolus vulgaris, Ipomia batatas, Capsicum annum, Gossypium hirsutum, and many other crop plants. After completion of seventh center, the last center, that is the South American region. Initially, it is the South American center of origin. While you observe the map, in a map, that 8th number, it indicates that is the 8th center of origin. The center includes the region of Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, Colombia, parts of Chile, Brazil, and entire Paraguay. The region is the primary center of Solanum tuberosum, Zea mays, Arachis hyposia, Ananas, Cosmos, Cucurbita maxima, Gossypium barbadans, and many other crop plants. Thank you.